Here's a concept that I've been fascinated by in recent weeks. I remember when I first heard about LIV Golf. I didn't really know what the capital LIV was. I'm thinking Super Bowl 54, Chiefs over the 49ers. Like, what the hell is this? And then you start to learn a little bit about it and how they're coming in and they're poaching some of the best golfers. And the PGA Tour reacted in a very negative and hostile way. And, oh, by the way, the Department of Justice is investigating the PGA Tour now for anti-competitive practices in potential violation of the antitrust laws. That's how aggressively the PGA reacted to this threat that came out of nowhere. And now they're talking about poaching Charles Barkley from inside the NBA to be a commentator for LIV Golf. And this all flows from what's known as the Public Investment Fund, $620 billion. It is a Saudi-owned wealth fund that has amassed $620 billion. Basically, venture capital where you got the money to fund any damn venture you want. $620 billion. That is obscene. So, what do? Well, you target the PGA. And look, as sports leagues go, it doesn't get any cheaper than trying to start a golf league. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need a lot of players. You don't need a lot of coaches. You don't need a front office staff. The individual players are the team. And I know they have like a team concept, and I don't know enough about how LIV Golf is going to work, but I know that it has rattled the PGA Tour to its very foundation. And I have been asking myself this very simple question. Is golf the beginning or the end for what the Public Investment Fund with $620 billion plans to do? If it's the end, then all the other major American sports can just sit and watch the PGA Tour possibly go up in flames. But if it's at the beginning, at what point does the Public Investment Fund with its $620 billion and growing, presumably, decide to try to set up a competitor for NBA, MLB, NHL, or the biggest bully on the American sports block, the NFL? The WFL back in the 70s tried to go head-to-head with the NFL, poached guys like Larry Zonka, big names, offered them a bunch of money. Didn't work. Didn't have the money to make it work. USFL showed up in the early 80s. Got some talent that otherwise would have gone to the NFL. Weakened the NFL's overall talent pool for spring football. Then decided to move to the fall, sued the NFL for allegations of antitrust violations, and won. The only problem is they didn't prove damages, so they won a single dollar. But they proved that the NFL reacted to the threat posed by the USFL by engaging in illegal practices under the antitrust laws. Well, what do you think the NFL is going to do if all of a sudden the Public Investment Fund with its $620 billion decides to have a football league that plays in football season, not spring? I'm telling you, all due respect to the USFL and the XFL, it's hard to get people to give a crap about football in the spring. It just is. You can talk yourself into it. Networks that televise the games and owners of these leagues. But for the average football fan, when it's not football season, you don't care about football. I know I don't. And it's not like I get caught up in the other sports. I care about the NFL offseason in the NFL offseason because there's so much that happens. But you start dropping professional football Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday in competition with college football, which as these planets realign, there may be fewer college games that anyone really gives a crap about as you have top-tier conferences and then lower tiers. It may just be that only anyone cares about, the only conferences, let me try that again, the only conferences anyone cares about will be the SEC and the Big Ten. That creates room if there's some alternative professional league. And it's all potentially driven by the legalization of gambling. People want things on which to gamble. So would the Public Investment Fund with $620 billion and counting gamble on creating a true competitor to the NFL? And the biggest weakness for the league is this: the rookie wage scale, the thing that was put in place back in 2011 to hold down the pay that is given to the incoming players. Congratulations, it worked. But you know what it's done? It's created a flaw that could be exploited by a competitor that says, hey, we'll pay twice, 3 times, 4 times whatever the NFL is paying on this rookie wage scale, which is non-negotiable. We will do it. The rookie wage scale would evaporate quickly if that kind of a threat shows up for the NFL. And the NFL would try all sorts of other things. And my only point is this. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm not rooting for it. I love a good story. And, man, a little chaos goes a long way toward creating a good story. I just think that we're all conditioned to the idea that the NFL is never going to face a challenger. When you consider the American appetite for pro football, the fact that legalized gambling will create a greater desire and interest in more forms of football, in more football games on which to bet, especially during football season, there's an opening there. And if the folks who are pursuing relevance for LIV Golf decide that they're going to turn their attention some point to football, and if they can attract some of the top college talent, and if they can maybe pilfer a player whose contract has expired but he's been slapped with the franchise tag, he's not under contract with an NFL team, but his rights are restricted as to who else he can play for, he could jump to this other professional football league. It's just something that I think the NFL would be wise to be thinking about, be very wise to have a plan ready to go, a contingency plan to protect itself, maybe even steps to put in place now to protect itself against that threat. And also, be careful, tread lightly, because it's very easy to engage in the kind of practice, the stuff the NFL thinks it's entitled to do. Plenty of the things the NFL does all the time without even thinking about it, I would assume, could potentially become antitrust violations if the NFL is facing a real in-season competitor. And I'm just fascinated by where this can go. So I'm going to pay attention to what LIV Golf does. And I'm going to pay attention to whether or not they have other aspirations. And if it works, if LIV Golf works, why not give it a shot? $620 billion. There's a lot of stuff that they could do in the sports world if they choose to go all in and compete in an era where people are looking for things on which to wager.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.